Hey everybody, this is Steve with Go-Fly-A-Kite.com. I wanted to make a quick beginner's guide to basic kiting, just to share with you some of the things I've learned the hard way in the first couple of months kiting. I really enjoy kiting in general. One of the things I learned right away was the lack of control a person has over a single line kite, depending on the design. Like if you just went out, decided you wanted to try flying a kite, but don't really have any experience flying kites, and you just thought it'd be a nice way to spend some time with maybe your kids or yourself on a Saturday or just on a nice day. So you went and got a basic one-line kite. I did the same thing, and I basically lost a couple of them because I was just flying a kite, grabbed a kite, spent maybe 20 bucks on a kite, 30 bucks on a kite, and the wind was blowing in a certain way and you lost control of it and it crashed. Maybe it crashed in a tree, or maybe it crashed in the water, depends on where you were flying at. Maybe you didn't have any idea that you weren't going to be able to control the kite. That's what happens with many single line kites, if they're a delta shape, or maybe they're a diamond shape, and the lines get tangled up easy, the tails get tangled up easy, and you buy it because it looked pretty, don't really have much experience flying kites, or with that particular kite, for example. It's a pretty technical endeavor. It can be enjoyable. I did some research myself, quite a bit, just searching for what kind of a kite would allow me to control the kite in high wind. I discovered quad kites. I discovered two-line sport kites, also known as the more advanced sport kites, stunt kites. Some people really get into doing tricks with the kite. Some people just want to be able to control the kite and have an enjoyable experience flying the kite. So depending on where you live, you may have an abundance of wind, or you may have very inconsistent, light, turbulent wind, depending on the amount of trees are around you, how the elevation, like are you up on a hill, or are you down in a low spot? There's a lot of things that affect the amount of wind, the consistency of the wind in your location. This video is to help you make an informed decision to tailor a kite that's going to work for where you are. So a lot of the information out there is not real clear on what it actually means. And what I mean by that is, like in the two-line kite arena, or also known as sport kites or stunt kites, they use terminology like max, standard, light, ultralight, and super ultralight. If you don't have a lot of wind where you are, let's say you're in the Midwest United States, like where I'm at, if you have wind out of the west, oftentimes it's very turbulent, inconsistent. It just depends on your location, whether you're flying at a beach, whether you're flying at a field, whether you're flying up on a hill. Physical structures, are there buildings around you? Those buildings, big buildings, block wind. There's a lot of things that affect what you're going to experience. You might be thinking, hey, if I get an ultralight kite, it's going to fly in really low wind. That's not necessarily what ultralight means. What ultralight primarily means, like if you see the designation UL, that means it's lighter than light. And then the light is lighter physically, in terms of weight. It's lighter than standard. And standard would be lighter than max. And oftentimes max designation means it's vented. Maybe not every time, but oftentimes that's what that means. It's designed to fly in really strong wind. Like in my area, for me to have a real consistent, enjoyable experience flying kites, I need SUL kites, super ultralight. For example, I've had a lot of fun flying the Prism 4D, which weighs 70 grams. It's designed to fly between 0 and 15 miles an hour. It's not a full-size kite. When they say full-size kite, they mean like 8 feet wide. I think the Prism 4D is 58 inches. It's not a full-size kite. And the weight of the lines, like if you're flying with 50-pound rated lines, that's going to be much lighter lines than, say, 100-pound rated lines. It's going to actually weigh more, the lines are going to weigh more. So if you don't need the strength, like if you're not flying in high winds, you obviously don't want really strong lines. You want weakest lines possible to get the job done, like say a 50-pound line, which is actually going to weigh less. For me, I bought an ultralight kite thinking I was going to be able to fly in ultralight winds. That's not necessarily true. As a matter of fact, that's not even the way the kite was sent to me. The kite was sent to me with lines that were rated at 150 pounds of pull. And you might ask yourself, like, why the heck would they send me a kite that's primarily designed to fly in light winds? It says it's ultra light, but yet it's sent to you with lines that are rated for 150 pounds of pull. It's like, that makes no sense whatsoever, does it, to the average person? But that's not how the industry is structured. They structure the designation of ultralight to reference the fact that that's a lighter kite than the light version. And the light version is lighter than the standard version. And the standard version is lighter than the max version. You're probably going to be much better off if you know you have very, very low winds to get an SUL, or a super light kite. And then if you find yourself experiencing winds that are too strong for that kite, then you might move up to an ultra light kite, and so forth. Just depends on your area. That's just some stuff that I've learned the hard way, and I would like to help you have a more enjoyable experience getting started in kiting than to waste your time, money, and resources and energy going in the wrong direction, thinking you're going in the right direction. That's what I'm here for, is to help you have a more enjoyable experience getting started in kiting as a beginner. I personally am involved with kiting because I like the beauty of it, the relaxation. I like seeing the beauty in the sky. That's what I do it for, relaxation. That might be why you want to get into kiting. You know, as a hobby, it's fairly inexpensive. There are some nice kites out there. I just like to see you have an enjoyable experience getting started. This is a beginner's guide to basic kiting. If you have any questions, you can just ask them in the comments below. I'll do my best to help you out, steer you in the right direction. A couple of my favorite kites right now are made by Prism, and one of them's the new Trino Micro Sport Kite. I have the mimosa color, and that's a really fun kite. If you're looking for a fun kite, you know, it'll keep you on your toes, you know, flying it. It's a real erratic kite. It needs quite a bit of wind to fly, honestly, especially if you put tails on it. Tails really require, or ribbons require, quite a bit more lift. So that means you'll need to be flying at higher winds. You know, depending on the wind level, I do enjoy flying the Nexus with tails. I've had a lot of fun flying that kite in the right amount of wind. Some days it really frustrates me when you have inconsistent, turbulent wind. Maybe the wind's apps say maybe you have plenty of wind, but then due to physical structures around you, it's not consistent enough wind to keep a certain kite in the air. And then you'd have to use your SUL kite, or have plenty of space to do a lot of moving and pulling and running around. That's a factor. So you want to make sure you're in a situation to where if you have to be moving around a lot in order to keep the kite in the air, that you can do that in a safe way. So you're not going to be stepping in holes or running into objects if you're walking backwards and you can't see where you're going. Those are some things to consider trying to fly in super light wind. I hope this helps you. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, and we'll see you next time. Peace. Take care.